Good evening, all of you folks out there in the electronic world. Tonight, we are watching more history being made. Let's start with the American Stock Exchange. It went to 29,000. Ticked back down to 28,888 or something like that. But by golly, Joe, folks, it's a good time to be had by all you investors out there. 401ks looking strong. I got to be honest with you. I'm out of the stock market. I've been out since 2014, and as soon as I dip my toes back in, I know what's going to happen. So I'm just going to sit on the sidelines and twiddle my thummies, and I got no money anyway, so it doesn't matter. So there you go. But hey, this guy right here and those folks over there in that Middle East country are telling the USA to get out of the country. Well, I'm all for it. We can go home any day. Unfortunately, we did have a little situation there the other day, and sadly enough, some civilians had perished. I called it. I knew exactly what happened. I will go on record as a radar technician, but from a military background, that the command and control centers did not stand down. They were still on red alert, and they did not contact the local aviation authorities and stop commercial flights. And guess what? A heat-seeking missile, or two heat-seeking missiles, depending on who you're getting your information from, proximity exploded next to a airliner, and some Canadians, fortunately, no Americans, thank goodness. Well, there wouldn't be any anyway. Iraqis and some other fellows from the country of Ukraine are taking a big dirt nap. Back in 1988, there was an incident where an American naval vessel shot down an airliner inadvertently because of the data that the individual at the back behind the missile screen, radar screen, thought it was inbound, and happened to be an outbound Iranian aircraft, civilian commercial airliner. Luckily, with all this, even thinking people are saying, hey, how can we avoid this if there ever is another time? I mean, I don't know about any of you folks, but I'm a Star Trek fan and like Star Wars and things like that, but you always see, the evil empire is at war on some planet and the world just continues on. Think about World War I and World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and the Iraqi Wars 1 and 2, when people were just trying to get about their daily lives while the war was going on. Now, preppers out there during those times were doing what they're doing now, preparing. There are preppers there's preppers all over the planet. You hear these stories of these folks who got caught up in the military wars, and they were starved to death because their farms were pilfered and their food was taken, their animals were slaughtered and eaten by either the enemy or the armies that were traveling through, and so the people starved. Now, I'm trying to avoid that here, only because the United States, if we ever do go to a war, such as what you're seeing in Iraq or Afghanistan or Germany or Poland or France and Italy, we can't have that here. That's not in our, it's just not going to happen. If it ever does, it won't be by that. It'll be by some bacteria. It'll be by some natural event. If you see United Nations blue hats walking around driving white vehicles with UN print on them, then you know where I'm at. I'm not going to fight against them. I'm not going to, there may be a time I'll have to talk to them. There are right now rumors of people being hired by the United Nations to disarm Americans. Now, I'm not going to go any further than that, but I've heard twinklings on the internet that there's that out there, but I can't confirm it. And I'm not going to deny it. But by Joby, folks, we have to understand a couple things about our country. From coast to coast, from border to border, Americans will defend the ground that they're standing on, whether they're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent. If they're whatever their lifestyle is, they're going to clutch arms together and fight off. Those movies back in the 80s and the newer ones, Red Dawn, is a good example. I'm not going to be a sheeple. I'm not going to do it. You have to pry my weapon from my dead, cold hands. Because I love America. I'm a veteran of the military, and I swore to defend the Constitution from intruders from within and intruders from without. Now that's just a promise. That's not a goal or nothing. I mean, I don't want war. I'm one of the people out there who are anti-gun for half of my life. But when you wake up and start seeing things happening, you can't have a national debt that you know is wrong. You know that it's just financially, fiscally incorrect to have a debt hanging over not just me, not just my kids, not just my grandkids, but my great grandkids, because somebody of power is saying, let's just keep the debt ceiling being raised. Who is right? Why just call it the debt ceiling when every year around September you jack it up to pay for, well, there's no pay for it. It's just throw that can further down the road. I can't balance my checkbook when I've got a negative. No. I'm not an economist, but I can realize one thing, folks out there, that you and I both know, that you cannot have a sustained economy when you've got a debt looking at you, staring at you every day. January 1st, the debt went up. The government said, let's borrow more money. I have to agree about the tax cuts. Sometimes I can, if you see how it's done, look at the charts, go out there and do your own research. It was a good thing that it happened, but revenue's coming in by the hundreds of billions of dollars a day. Tariffs. Money that we don't give to foreign countries. Now that's starting to pay off because, face it, NATO wasn't paying their fair share for over 50 years. They're stiffing us. And all these damn politicians from Trump, before Trump, were just, okay, no big deal. We won't pressure them. We'll just keep paying their bills. Now you've got a situation where the people that we're sitting there defending are saying, you know what, we better start paying. And they're paying. They're happy to pay. Why? Because they said, you never asked us. You never asked us to pay more. Another Captain Obvious moment. But this is not the channel for that. I'm just out there trying to vent my feelings about this guy standing here bad-mouthing America. And guess what? There should be in my honest God opinion, every street in Iraq should be named after a dead American soldier. And I'm going to leave it at that. Tell me what you think. Admiral Preparedness here. God save America. God save this guy. Because when we leave, they're going to be in a world of hurt. I can guarantee it.